seconds. He rattles it down.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we're back. Again.
You thought we wouldn't be back.
No way. We didn't think we'd be back. We still aren't sure if we're back.
We're still not sure if we're back.
So, screw you, we're back. Just in case we didn't annoy you enough last week, we're back again this week.
For all of you, for all our friends who don't follow the NBA, who thankfully watched us drivel on for 52 minutes, we're going to fill your heads with even more useless information.
Some of the feedback we received this week, Fish, someone said, Seko, stop wearing a singlet, you're not ripped.
Good point.
Another thing said, Kyle's arm looks like a fake pedophile puppet. That was
We're
rude.
yet to put on googly eyes. We're really going to make this dream happen.
And another one said, you guys remind me of Lennon and McCartney, only fatter and gayer. So thank you. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate anyone that watched the pod. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in again. Fish, we're here. Trash Talk, episode 2. I think it's only right.
It's only right that we fill up the cup.
I'm not that great at pouring, but our bartender friend here, Mr. Fisher, still lacerated finger, mate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, look, I wasn't entirely truthful with the whole jet skiing incident.
Never happened.
Absolutely never happened. It happened in a rock climbing expedition in the Andes.
Dude.
Still not 100% sure where the Andes were. I'm still not sure. I'm not sure whether they've
Cuba,
moved.
possibly.
Potentially
Cuba.
We're gonna fade this thing out.
We're fading out. We're fading. We
Fading
got
out for the people.
we got our nude friend back on set, Bray. He's actually, we got some feedback on Bray actually. Sorry, we're just wrapping the wine here. We got some feedback on Bray. We got told that we are officially the first NBA podcast to show more than 10 seconds of male nudity, which is a great achievement, I feel.
I feel like that's it. Cheers. Here's to 10 seconds of male nudity.
Yeah, and we're going to bring you another 20 seconds more tonight if Bray's up to it. Right. I think he's got a message for the people that doubted his nudity. Come on in, Bray. You got to crouch down, mate. We're in pretty tight tonight.
Let's pack it in, boys.
Oh, Bray's back.
I'd like to apologise to my friends, my family, my colleagues. It was wrong of me to do what I did last time.
It's true.
I don't think it'll happen again. I'd like to say no, but, you know, I get a bit wild after my soccer training, let's be honest.
All that male contact.
Wednesday.
I'd like to just end this podcast by saying Mum wasn't happy.
No.
Nor was Grandma Baby.
We're 3.5 minutes in.
Yeah, we're not ending.
It's a short one this week. we figured that an hour was a bit too long.
We didn't have it.
I bid adieu.
Ciao
for now, but not forever.
He'll be back naked, we promise.
With all that introductions aside, welcome to Trash Talk with Fish and Seko.
Back again.
Back with the floodlight behind us. We're showing you a little bit of colour.
Yeah, we got some pool scenery. Pool Haven again, thank you. Creepy Crawler, you can probably see just the court of Kev there. He's doing a good job, fine job. We actually turned him off for the night because he was a bit loud, but
he was a little bit loud.
He's doing a great job. So
he's not a bad egg. Not a bad egg. So we're going to start things off on a little bit of a melancholic note.
Let's do it.
We're going to start off with Steve Nash's retirement.
I thought we were going to go into the 90 seconds first.
It's also a melancholic note.
This is good. We clearly...
Fish didn't read the run sheet.
No. We both read the run sheet. We've just both got different ones this week. It's good, but we promise we got this in tune.
We promise we have this in tune. So we're going to start the timer. Are you ready?
90-second recap of Fish and Seko's weekend starts right now.
You're up.
Mate, outrageous weekend. We're down there on Saturday. Our good friend Lockie from Space Monk picks us up, takes us down to get a coffee, and who would we find down there but Stevie?
Stevie the pink bunny rabbit. When you're lonely and you're in need of a friend, Stevie is there for you. Our mate Lockie, he was there he just wanted a hug and he got Stevie.
He needed a hug and he needed to cure the hangover.
So anyway, we wanted to give Stevie his first Bloody Mary, so we got on the trots. We were there. We wanted it.
We got him one. We had ourselves one, and then you know what? We were off to the races because it was our good friend Bo's 21st. Happy birthday, Bo!
Cheers to CHG and all the boys down there.
Cheers to CHG.
Thank you very much.
Got down, found our good friend Dennis over at Mez's house, and mate, Dennis was in for the long haul. He said, "Boys, I'm not leaving you tonight." Carried him around in a little baby patch. He's a little teddy bear, and
we hijacked him from Merrick's house.
God.
We're sorry, Merrick. We have lost
Merrick.
Dennis.
We've lost Dennis.
There is a reward. Might be a wristy. The
We've got
reward hasn't
posters
been
everywhere.
decided yet.
Posters everywhere. If you want to know what Dennis looks like,
We're well
here's
over
a
this
photo
90
of him
seconds,
right
but
now.
the weekend was better than 90 seconds because afterwards...
No, we're not done.
We're not done?
We got 10 more seconds. Let's
All right,
go.
I got followed home by a gypsy woman.
He did. Sorry.
Yeah, she told me my life story, and the future doesn't look too bright.
And it was a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks.
That
Yeah.
was 90 seconds of Fish and Seko's weekend recap. Shit.
Recapped, absolute torture. So now we're going to move on to some actual
We're gonna
legitimate...
get into the real shit. It's been like 6 minutes and we haven't said one actual thing. Let's get into it.
It really
Fish.
doesn't. So we're going to
Let's
start
do it.
off with the Steve Nash retirement.
Hats
A
off to
Canadian
him.
export. Was
Hats
originally
off.
born in South Africa, and personally, from a personal note, this is the guy that brought me into the NBA. This is the guy that I watched while I was growing up. He was
Yeah.
my most influential when I was playing basketball at school. In high
that
school,
point.
this was the guy that I wanted to be like. He seemed to have. I grew up playing soccer, so being in that kind of frame of mind, I know that Steve has a strong football and soccer background.
Big fan of the football, Steve Nash.
He's a big fan,
He's
so-
got that whole kind of influence.
So
I
I
think,
found that it had kind of assimilated to my own game. I really enjoyed watching him grow up. I'm really sad to see him leave the NBA. I mean, the past
Especially
couple
with
of
the Lakers.
yeah, especially with the Lakers, nothing killed me
Yuck.
more.
Yuck.
I think the closest that I got to ever supporting a team was Phoenix, simply because of how Steve Nash kind of changed that team and
For
made them
sure.
to a dominant force in the West at
Yeah.
that period of time. And I mean, it's sad to see him. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been so bad if the back problems and all the injuries and all that
Yeah.
didn't keep him
It's-
sidelined.
It's definitely a shame he didn't get to go out on kind of the note he wanted. Like, he got traded to the Lakers kind of to end his career, hopefully winning a chip alongside Kobe. It would have been kind of the fairy tale ending. No one at Phoenix was spiteful that that was the reason he was leaving, because God, he gave those
that
fans
team
a good run of years.
a great stint. And I mean, he called it himself in his retirement press conference as a failure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not much that you can hold against him. Regardless of all the stats, ended up in the 50, 40, 90 club for a career,
Which is amazing.
That's absolutely insane for it to... I think that stat has only been accomplished by a handful of players, and he's done it 4 times
Yeah.
in 4 separate seasons, and for that to have affected his entire career, to end up the greatest free throw percentage shooter. Was it percentage, or was it actual free throws taken?
Free throw percentage.
Free throw
I
percentage.
believe. And
Seko, the stat man.
third most on the all-time assist list, which is huge, behind Stockton and Magic Johnson, I believe. So that's huge in itself. And I think the one thing that'll stand out from Steve Nash's career is just that kind of run of a few years they had in Phoenix. That was probably one of the funnest NBA teams that's ever been to watch. Dan Toney was the coach, and they didn't play any defense, but their offense was just unreal.
So much fun.
Just the fastest pace you've ever
That
seen.
1-2 punch with an old school Amari Stoudemire.
Back when
trying to rep the Horry goggles.
Back when Stoudemire could jump.
He could bang.
He could jump
bang
back
down
then.
low as well. And I mean,
Stoudemire,
he was
Sean
off
Marion.
his walker. Sean Marion,
was-
Channing Frye.
Yeah, that was a fun team. A very fun team.
They had a fun team, and they were a team that brought me to it. So regardless of all those, for a man to have brought so many people into the NBA, regardless of if you're watching at home, Steve, we know you're a big fan.
Thanks, Steve, for watching. Canada thanks you.
I'm still shaking my head a little bit at the what was that? that Gangnam Style dance that he did at the All-Star game, that made me cringe a little.
Yeah.
And I think that was the lowest point in his career. So for that to have been the lowest
I think the
point in your
lowest
career,
point in his career was ever suiting up for the Lakers. Sorry. That's coming from a Celtics fan. No, but...
Of course, you're repping the hat to this week.
Yeah, I got the hat on.
Be wary of a very vicious Boston fan here. He's trying to hold on to his laurels. He's back again.
No, the feedback I got from Boston, the city of Boston, was keep going, Seko. You're our real MVP, and I swear, guys, I'm going to carry on that mantle as long as it goes.
You're ready to take the mantle.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got the city of Boston on my back, and believe it or not, we're just about to have some lighting difficulties again.
As always, it'll hit. Does it look that bad though?
I can't tell because I'm not up there, but let's get a message back up on the screen regardless.
So that seemed to work a treat. Sorry for the delay.
We got the lights working again, so happy days. Seko, mate, it's been a big week. Sorry, just to wrap up on Steve Nash, mate, he'll always be remembered as kind of one of the best point guards of all time, I would say.
He's up there.
One of the more exciting players. Some of his assists, like highlights, oh my gosh. Like
it's really hard to... I mean, it's really difficult for an NBA player to be so exciting by being so selfless, and I think that's one of the things that really brought attention to his game. It's really difficult for a player to be able to share the ball that well and to still maintain that level of excitement, to still get people jumping out of their seats as soon as he throws a little fake behind the back.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's something that only a handful of point guards have ever been able to do in the league.
And I think he also inspired a bit of a generation of kind of selfless point guards. I know Rondo, I think, based a lot of his game on Nash.
I think there was a lot of similarities between Rondo and Steve Nash, but it seemed like Rondo had this reckless abandon that he brought to that table as well, while also having the fundamental of selflessness that he had.
I think Rondo was almost like a more kind of athletic version of Nash, but maybe not as good. I don't know how you...
And I mean,
Rondo's career still got a few years ahead of him, so we'll see how that goes.
And I mean, CP3 as well.
CP3,
he was sort of on the other side. I found that Rondo was more the reckless abandon, whereas Chris Paul was more the more effective, more influential.
Yeah,
kind of really got his team a lot more fundamental than Steve Nash or Rajon were. But I feel like he started that kind of generational pull.
Another thing I heard talking about Steve Nash was that, like, he was always a really good shooter, but he never scored as much as he probably could have, just because he was so selfless. Like, he wanted to get teammates going. He'd find a way to just get guys going on his team, and then they'd go on streaks, and he'd just keep feeding them the ball, whether it was Stoudemire down low or just getting Marion running the floor, like... So yeah,
he was able to get the crowd going.
He probably could have scored, and I heard another percentage. It was like Nash, like I think it was like 46% of his 3-point shots came like off his own, like off the dribble, like not assisted.
That's insane for a guy who is usually so selfless.
They're
to be
Steph
able
Curry
to,
numbers.
They are not. Yeah, actually they are.
They are.
They totally are.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Mind, he's not throwing up 8 a game. He's throwing up 3 or 4.
Yeah, but Steve Nash. Great career.
Very
fun to watch.
Here's to you.
Here's to you, mate. Hope. By the way, Steve, you might have seen this on the podcast last week, but we've got a lovely retirement home across the street, Pittwater Village. itsyourlife.com.au. We're looking forward to seeing you for a game of pickup in maybe, let's give Fish like maybe 4 months, and we'll be
4
on.
months,
and by the way, beware of our pick and roll. Fish, I think it's time to swap back seats because I'm lost.
I still haven't caught my bearings after
I've got no idea. I don't even know which way north is anymore. Fish, I think it's time to move on.
I think it is as well. I think we're going to keep it a little bit more recent.
Let's do it.
A little bit less melancholy. Actually, no, this is just downright sad. The recent announcement of Serge Ibaka's injury to miss the first... I think it's the first 2 weeks of playoffs.
Yeah.
Even if he makes it through that, and the indefinite return of KD And
Yeah.
what do you think the chances of OKC will be?
Man, it's you spoke about it last week. You said I feel like there might still be an injury to come. The next day we heard about Ibaka.
Don't put the blame on me, dude.
No. But I'm saying, like, you kind of called it. Like you sensed something was coming.
Valid.
I don't think we thought it would be this big though.
I didn't.
We got news that Ibaka was out for another 6 weeks, and then notification a couple of days later saying KD is now out indefinitely. It wasn't, like, as far as we knew, it was going to be like another week or two, and yeah, out indefinitely. I've heard some people saying that it's for the year, for the season. They've shut him down, which is terrible news if you're a fan of OKC. If you're a fan of basketball, it's terrible because I was really looking. I was kind of hoping they'd get their stuff together and just be just one of the most ridiculous 8 seeds you've ever seen. But yeah, OKC, they're two of their 3 best players. They're down 2 of them.
It's looking bleak.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not looking good.
for the weight that Russell Westbrook now has to shoulder,
Yeah,
it's not looking great. I mean, when you're relying on guys like Dion Waiters, who is not making consistent shots,
he's so hot and cold.
He's so insanely hot and cold. I think if they do make it to playoffs, I think they might win 1, possibly 2 games, depending on how beaten Russell Westbrook's bionics are at that point.
Yeah, it's gonna. Like, I'm still really excited to see Westbrook.
Oh,
just
I'm
go,
all
just
that.
go.
Definitely.
Like, screw it. Like, OKC on my back. Let's go. Let's do this. Ninja
Definitely.
Turtles coming to town. But it's just like they just can't. Like, I know they've still got some solid pieces they brought in, but man, like, you're missing your MVP from last season. He was MVP last season.
I mean, like, and when you're looking at that as a ramification for a season, you're without KD and MVP. Indiana are without Paul George. Look at where they are. For the OKC to be where they are, they should be very, very thankful
Yeah.
for how much Russell Westbrook has
For
contributed
how
to
damn
them.
good he is.
Seriously,
And-
I'm calling it. Next week, Russell Westbrook Appreciation Society.
Yeah. I'll wear like a bandana or something.
Yeah, I'm ready
in.
for it.
I'm in.
It's dressed like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I'm really in.
Shotgun Leonardo.
Yeah, okay. I'll go Donatello.
Yeah, good call.
Whatever, man.
Good call. No, I'm in on that.
I
in on
like
that.
him. He's a good Ninja Turtle.
He's a good guy.
But no, seriously, like, let's look at what they're missing. They're missing 25.4 points a game from KD, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. That's from last season's MVP. And then, almost more importantly, on the defensive end, they're missing Ibaka, which is 2.4 blocks a game and 7.8 rebounds, which is nearly 8 rebounds a game, which is quite a lot.
That's 2.5 possessions that you're getting back. When you look at how close these playoff games are,
Exactly.
and you've got 2.5 more possessions with both Russell Westbrook and KD in there being able to throw up a shot, and when they're shooting something like anywhere from 40 to 50% from the field, it's a better chance of you winning. And especially, I mean, I personally don't trust Scott Brooks. I don't think he's a great... I think he's a great formational coach. I don't think he's a great tactician. I feel like he's one of those coaches that really gets a nice chemistry going with the team, can really establish free-flowing play. But as soon as it comes down to the nitty-gritty at the end of games where you need a solid play, when you've got those type of caliber players being able to throw up those shots, and they just haven't been utilised in those really crucial clutch situations. And that's where I think Oklahoma City has a large disadvantage. They are the best when they have to blow out teams.
Yeah, I agree on Scott Brooks. I think Scott Brooks would be one of those coaches you'd want for a team, maybe in college or something. If your college team, you're down maybe by, I don't know, 13, 15 points at the half, and he'd kind of be he seems like a really good guy. Scott Brooks. He gives that impression that like you just like him as a mentor. I think he'd be able to get guys going if you're down 15 at halftime or whatever. But like NBA coaches these days, and especially the systems that are being played. We're going to talk about Coach of the Year candidates later in the pod, but I think you've really got to be able to draw up some nice plays out of timeouts, and Scott Brooks doesn't do that. I don't think I've seen them run kind of like a really... I've never watched an OKC game and gone, wow, Scott Brooks really drew up that play nicely.
Yeah.
It's more like,
none at all.
wow, Westbrook just made something out of nothing.
When you start seeing
KD
the guys
just
where
took
you're
a
like,
stupid
wow,
shot.
Doc Rivers, hats off to Doc Rivers off that insane play, or you go,
Yeah.
Rick Carlisle, you killed that.
Yeah.
Where you go,
for
Popovich,
sure.
Are you kidding? And even recently, I mean, I hate that I'm doing this. I really hate that I'm
love
doing
that
this.
He's doing this. I know
I
what he's
hate
about
this.
to say.
Brad Stevens.
Mate,
Brad Stevens with the Boston Celtics has made some really, really incredible plays in clutch situations.
can I just pinpoint one?
Go.
Down 1 to Memphis with a minute 50 to go. He runs an inbounds play, which is a lob for Marcus Smart to catch, the rookie point guard, to catch and lay in over, I don't know, like Zebo or something. And he got it, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, are you crazy? But he pulled it off, and it was amazing. We won the game.
I feel like Brad Stevens, just because of his position, and I feel because of the Boston Celtics position in the table, people don't expect that kind of caliber of playmaking coming out of the bench, and I feel like that's really helped them out in those situations. But hats off to them.
We'll get into coaches a bit later, but
we will.
Yeah, OKC, it's a huge hit they've taken this week.
It's going to be really difficult, especially if they nail that 8th seed. Even if they might jump up to 7th, I don't like the look of them against either Golden State Warriors, or even a potential Memphis.
I honestly don't. I don't really
Memphis
favour
would
them
just
against
kill
maybe anyone in the top 8 besides maybe Portland or Houston. If Houston and Portland are missing their players, which they are, like if Dwight Howard doesn't return, which it does look like he's set to return in a couple of days, which is good. Good news for
them.
Good news for basketball. Yeah. But I just can't see OKC really. I can't see Westbrook winning a series by himself.
Yeah,
and not only a series, but taking them any further than after one round in the playoffs. So
especially after. I mean, when you see all the teams that are winning at the moment, they're built around systems rather than one-person players.
Yeah.
And especially, like, the best kind of systems will have those star players that are doing really, really well, but they still have a little bit of a safety net with the players around them. It's just not going to work out when it's just Russell Westbrook taking every single possession to the rack or pulling up on a dime. It's going to be difficult for them. It looks kind of bleak at the moment. So, actually, I was wondering, do you think that they should, just quickly, do you think that they should tank it now? Do you think that they should just go for it?
They're not going to tank. I don't think they should.
I feel like...
I don't think they should.
No.
Because I just don't think it's necessary. OKC would still want their team in the playoffs. Westbrook is not going to tank a single second, let alone a game.
I'd love to be in on that conversation if the GM goes up to Russell Westbrook and goes, we're going for a lottery pick.
He'd just be...
I feel like...
You'd walk out with a dead GM, that's for sure. Sam Presti, hope you make it out alive if you do have that combo. But no, I don't think they'll do that. I still think... Like, I mean, it's a really small percentage, but you've still got one of the best players in the league on your team. And it's a low percentage, but who knows what he could do.
Exactly.
I mean, Westbrook hasn't been playing human at all, and he's been single-handedly beating teams that are really good. Who knows what he could do in a series? I don't think it's likely he could win one, but...
The thing is that we want to find out.
I'm still very keen to see.
We want to find out.
Yeah. So I'm saying they're still going to make the 8th seed, and look for them to win maybe 1 or 2 games max. That's our prediction. I think we don't disagree much, but
we don't. We don't.
We've
But
got
this
some
is
arguments coming tonight. We've promised
this is
some arguments.
we're gonna go in on it. Recently, for the amount of basketball that I've been watching, it's been kind of tricky for me. I actually don't have a team.
He doesn't.
I don't follow a team. I never have. I've had soft spots here and there. I grew up in Seattle and San Francisco.
You did go for Seattle, but
I went for the Seattle Sonics.
the man took his team away.
The
man.
The man took it away, and like the glove and Rain Man Sean Kemp.
Fun team.
That was mine. That was mine, and they took us away, and they took it to Oklahoma City, and I just didn't quite like the fit. I'm not sure what it was.
Tornado Alley.
So
I don't think that's what you like about him.
that's probably it.
A lot of tornadoes, especially.
The high pressure
It's coming
systems.
into that season as well.
It does.
Sucks.
Shout out to all of you in Tulsa.
Yeah, keep it under wraps. Bathtubs, get in there if there's a tornado. I've seen like a couple of movies. But yeah, we've got a new segment. We're gonna start doing this each week. It's called Find Fish a Team.
Find fish. Let's find fish a team.
Basically, it's gonna be my job to convince Fish each week on a different team. He hasn't given me a list of any preferences, so I've just got to try and convince him about a team that is fun to watch and that I think is going to have a pretty good future in the next few years. So, Fish, starting off this week.
What have we got? Warm us up. Where are we going?
Find a team. Milwaukee Bucks. I know what you're thinking. Milwaukee. Yuck.
Where?
Where is that city? It's where the cheeseheads live.
No.
Yeah, it is. And we saw what happened to the cheeseheads in the NFL playoffs.
I'm a Seahawks fan.
Me and Kyle probably had pissed our pants laughing. Not sure if anyone watched Green Bay versus Seattle. Seattle should not have won that game. But
we shouldn't have won that game, but we did.
What?
Because they're cheeseheads.
Mate, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten the name of the guy. I think he's like a...
Who knows, man? And the point of it is that the football came off and hit off his stupid cheese ball head.
I'm probably going to overlay the video right now, but it was ridiculous.
That made my week, to be honest.
It was hilarious, but yeah. Milwaukee is the land of the cheeseheads.
You're really going to have to sell it hard now.
But I've got you on this.
Go.
And here's why I think it's a good franchise to follow.
Where's the spice and everything?
Okay,
nice?
so you don't want to look at their previous few seasons. They had a kind of messed up team 2 years ago. Brandon Jennings, Monte Ellis. They made they scraped into the 8th seed.
Don't even worry about the past. I'm looking for future.
Nah.
I'm looking for the future.
But I need to tell you why it's an improvement this year. Last season, they finished with the worst record in the league, going 15-67. It was a year to forget, especially when you had Philly
I like an underdog.
Wait. They had Philly actually saying they were tanking, and they couldn't even get a better record than Philly. And Milwaukee were saying at the start of the season they were making the playoffs again. So it was pretty bad, pretty brutal. But this year, new coach, Jason Kidd. Someone I know you respected a lot as a player.
I do.
One of the best point guards of all
Loved
time.
his New Jersey days.
Another retiree I wouldn't mind seeing around one of our games to pick up. He made a power move at the start of the season. He moved from the Nets, which was a great move, it turned out, because the Nets have been pretty horrible this season, and they've got a lot of aging players, not many future assets, and I think
we should just stop calling it the Pittwater Retirement Village and just call it the Brooklyn Nets or the Barclays Center.
Oh, pretty
much.
Because
that team is old.
That team is old. Pouring out a 40 for the Nets right now.
You poor humans.
Ron Williams, sorry at what turned out of your great point guard career. But this year they've improved, partly thanks to Jason Kidd's coaching. In fact, I'd say a lot of it. Turns out a good coach. Last year, we were like, oh, he's just got good players. It's his first season as a coach, straight out of retiring from the NBA. This year, he's playing with a lot a lot younger assets. Guys like the Greek Freak, who we love. Giannis
Absolutely love him. I wish he made that dunk in the slam dunk contest where he just missed it. Oh, I wish that went down. That was stupid.
Filth.
His arm went back to the free throw.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Great. Chris Middleton's gotten better under J Kidd.
Including clutch circumstances.
Oh, wow.
Just today, he drops in this.
Jared Bayless off the glass. Oh, would that have been just great? 2 second. Middleton. Yes! Chris Middleton! Happy birthday, Jason Kidd. This place is up for grabs. Did you see Jason take off? The grind fighter got out here in a hurry. Chris Middleton, who couldn't hit a shot.
Catch and shoot. It's so stupid.
Off.
You want to know the best bit?
Go.
It was J Kidd's birthday today.
No!
It was J Kidd's birthday
No,
today.
I'm in on that. I didn't know that. If Jason Kidd was blowing out his 50-something candles that morning, do you think he said Chris Middleton...
Game winner?
Chris
Against
Middleton,
Miami.
Just throw it in, mate.
I'm going to say I'm not sure if he would have liked it to come down to that. I think he would have preferred to blow the game out. But, wow, what a birthday present Chris Middleton delivered. That was one of the shots of the year.
That's up there.
I know you've watched a couple of their games. They're a fun team to watch. Big guys, big lengthy guys, really good defense. They're already pretty elite on the defensive end. And they had the whole Larry Sanders issue. It looks like he's probably not going to return for them ever, which sucks.
Still, commendable effort for the guy. There's a lot of
some mental issues going on, and respect
it's not
to that.
often that mental issues get brought up in the NBA, and for someone to take the reins of his own life, especially in that dark situation, hats off.
He's come out and he's kind of admitted to what's going on, and that takes a lot of guts. So, good on him. We wish him the best for sure.
It's only endearing me.
Yep. But they're a very fun team. They made a weird trade where they got MCW, which
that's my crux.
I felt like that might have happened because Brandon Knight was playing some very good basketball for them.
I really liked Brandon Knight.
I thought maybe he might have got shunned for an All-Star pick before he got traded. I think he was right there. Like
if there was any more, if there were any more picks, he would have been on there.
He was next in line
ahead of Corver.
He was having a great season. Still doing okay in Phoenix. God bless him. But they've brought in MCW, which I'm not that confident about. No
one was really confident about the Milwaukee Bucks as a whole.
Exactly.
At the start of the season, so I'm willing to give him a little bit of time.
Okay, yeah, but that's all we ask. That's all we ask over here in Milwaukee. But no,
repping the banners.
I think my biggest selling point, and we've talked about him a lot over some red wines behind closed doors. The Greek Freak is just unfreaking real. He's a defensive monster. He's a shooting guard. Don't ask me how, because the guy looks like he's probably 7 foot.
Guy looks like he's made out of, what was those cheese stringers?
Biggest stringer.
He looks like a biggest stringer.
He does.
He is the straight up biggest stringer in the middle of that key.
He's the biggest stringer of the NBA.
He looks, he's the biggest stringer and he's the inflatable waving man.
Exactly. Both of them on D. On offense, this year, I don't think anyone really expected him to kind of just notch it up the level he did, because he was fun to watch last year, but now he's like, you've got to take him seriously, because he's really good off a pick and roll, driving the hoop. He can shoot quite a bit. He's still got a bit of work to do, but he's got a nice jumper,
15-foot jumper.
And he is just scary to play against. If you've got to attack the rim against him, you're likely getting blocked. If not, you're probably getting hard fouled. He's a monster, and some of those my favorite highlights to watch in Milwaukee is when you see him get a swat, runs the floor at the end, someone chucks up the alley-oop. It's just like, my God.
His head's at the rim, and his arms over the backboard.
Exactly.
He's just the lankiest.
It's crazy. It's crazy to watch, and he can probably dribble the ball 3 times, and he makes the length of the court.
It's insane. It's insane. It's like watching Space Jam.
Exactly.
It's like watching Space Jam. So to surmise...
Wait, I got one more selling point.
Go.
Jabari Parker.
potential for the future.
Was kind of deemed to be kind of rookie of the year this season by a lot of people. I liked what I saw out of him before his injury, tore his ACL. No one likes an injury, and that's a heavy one for a rookie to take.
No one likes it.
It's really, injuries have been funny amongst this rookie class, which is really disappointing. But I think Jabari's going to be a very solid player. Probably put up 20 a night, and already looks fit for the NBA.
His body looks ready.
I'm really looking forward to see what they do when he comes back. But it looks like Milwaukee are going to slide into the playoffs this year, maybe the 6th seed in the East. And mate, I think they're a team that's going to be really good in the next few years to come. So that's my selling point. Cool. Milwaukee Bucks, fine Fisher team. That was it for this week. Moving on,
and we're going to move on to a little bit of a contentious note.
I'm very looking forward to this.
Coach of the Year, and we've discussed this, and we came up with 2 names in particular.
2 names. Wait, before we get there, let's give some honourable mentions to some guys that have been still really good this year, but maybe just don't have the records.
That's it.
Personally, for me, Brad Stevens, you've already touched on it, but if you see who the Celtics are playing with, they traded away Rondo, Jeff Green, and got better. So that speaks volumes to kind of how good of a coach he is. If you're not watching the Celtics, just do yourself a favour and tune in and watch some of their kind of plays out of timeouts. They're pretty exciting. I know I'm being a bit of a homer, but
you are being a massive homer.
But you'd agree.
I do agree.
He's
been brilliant outside of timeouts, but outside of that, he still hasn't quite established it, and that's just going to take players.
He's a young coach.
That's just going to take players.
I love what I've seen out of him the first 2 seasons, and I mean, if they get some good players
he has that really old school tactician mentality.
He does, yeah.
Which I really like.
I really like that about him, yeah.
In an age filled with Popovich and Popovich diehards, where it's the free-flowing game, it's kind of drawing into that 3-and-D kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to see I'm happy to see a young coach coming through and just kicking it old school. A shout out to Brad Stevens. Another shout out to Rick Carlisle before the Rondo trade. I believe that.
Okay.
Oh, no. Just because of the slump that they've been on.
I think so, yeah.
And that's kind of like a defining moment that defines their recent slump.
For sure, yeah.
I feel like up until that point, they had a really good record. I believe Rick Carlisle was kind of in the running for this.
Yep.
I also believe that Tom Thibodeau, as bad as that, as up and down and as yo-yo-y as this kind of situation is, or the tension between him and head office, he's had to deal with Derrick Rose, a former MVP, on a meniscus tear, his 3rd knee injury in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jimmy Butler's recent resurgence and then his decline into injury.
Yep.
But it looks like he's going to be coming back.
He's back. We saw him play yesterday.
Which is good signs. I believe Tom Thibodeau needs a little bit of a tip of the hat.
I think you can't really go Coach of the Year without mentioning Popovich. I mean, it's almost you have to mention him because
of the past couple of weeks where you've
just seen them turn the lights on. You're like, wow.
You see the switch and you start going, surely not again.
Yeah.
Sure, not again.
Yeah.
And you just see it. People get healthy at the right time. Tony Parker starts looking like Tony Parker.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard becomes the leader in steals.
It's scary.
It's like...
It's scary. It's scary how good the Spurs are becoming.
That is just Popovich in a nutshell. So he's always up there. But I feel at the moment it comes down to
two horses.
And I think it's 3, 2, 1. Mike Budenholzer.
I disagree.
No, you don't.
I think it's Warriors head coach Steve Kerr.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. No.
Why? I want you to give me some points.
So let's go. Let's get some healthy debate going. Let's quickly just look at the records between the two teams. Hawks, great season, by the way. And I'm not disagreeing. I think he is the second best coach. But the Hawks have been unreal this season. You've seen their ball movement. It's just amazing. They are 53-17 in the East right now. Golden State Warriors, they have just been outrageous. 58-13 right now. And it's just like both teams are kind of easily the best in their conferences.
Easily the best in their conferences.
And I think both of them have to do with the coaching. Definitely. So I'm not saying Budenholzer is not like a good coach or anything.
Good to cover your tracks.
I want to explain why I think Steve Kerr gets the nod. For me this season, and the Warriors were really good last year. Under Mark Jackson, they still got, I think it was the 5th seed. They lost in the first round to the Clippers. They didn't have Bogut back. David Lee was kind of in and out of the lineup. They didn't use Harrison Barnes the right way. Steve Kerr's come in this year. He's making all these plays. He's brought Harrison Barnes back in the starting lineup, which I thought was huge for his confidence. He's playing really good. He's having a great season.
Well. Him and Draymond Green
The
have been
Draymond
incredible.
Green has been just I didn't even know the word to use. He's just been amazing.
For a guy that's come from nowhere, really.
Possible Defensive Player of the Year. We're going to get into that probably next week. But on the defensive end, he's so versatile. He can pretty much guard anywhere from the 4 through to the 1, almost. That's how versatile he is on that end of the floor. And he's also offensively brought himself up. And then, of course, you're having Steph Curry, who's having probably an MVP season. Klay Thompson's been, hands down, maybe one of the top 3 shooting guards in the league this season. We've seen what they've been doing. Their ball movement is really good. And I think Steve Kerr's taken a really good team and elevated them to be an elite team. They're going to finish with a stupid record. I think they've got maybe 11 games to go in the season, maybe less. But they're sitting at 58-13. I think if they finish mid to high 60s, I think he just gets a nod anyway, because anyone that takes a team to that...
I think it's regardless. Like, you keep saying that it's like these players. If you look at the players on the roster with Golden State, they can make their own shots. You saw it with that ridiculous play that Steph Curry brought up where he dribbled around 4 defenders and he pulls up from 3 and he sinks it, and everyone's going, that's a player's play. That's not a coach's play. I'm going for the coach that has gone from this 8th seed team last year that was kind of brought up like they were a sub 500 team.
Yep.
And then to bring it all the way up to this elite standard, to be blowing out the Eastern Conference.
It is amazing.
In such a way, to have been organising this kind of ball movement that is very Spurs-esque, and Budenholzer was underneath Greg Popovich, and you can kind of see that in the systematic way.
The way they move the ball, for sure.
But the way that he's instilled that so quickly and so effectively in a Hawks team is just absolutely ridiculous. For them to get 4 players within the Eastern Conference, albeit a very depleted Eastern Conference and a little bit of a lackluster Eastern Conference.
40 for the Eastern Conference. Not going to do it.
But it's getting more interesting because of the Hawks.
For sure.
And the reason why I'm going to give Budenholzer the nod is because that play is more dependent on their coach than it is on the players. So the Golden State Warriors, they have those players that they can fall back on in those clutch situations. The biggest question with the Atlanta Hawks that people are giving them, who do they throw it to? Who do they throw it to in those clutch situations? No one can really know.
I think that's still maybe a problem for them come
but
playoff time.
I think, yes, it's a problem, but I think it's something that they will have to find a solution with. And I
and
feel
by the
like
way, they've still got really good players. Like,
they do. Oh, no. Like,
wow.
Millsap, Horford, Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Damari Carroll's been understated through this entire...
Guys coming off the bench as well, like Schroeder.
I love Schroeder.
We love Schroeder here. We're on Schroeder Island.
I'm on that island. Even Pero Antic throwing in threes, just
Big
being
Antic.
like, it's making it difficult for other people to do it. So I mean, my point for him and my purpose for him getting Coach of the Year ahead of Steve Kerr is that he's less dependent on the players and he's more dependent on the system that he's created and the plays that he's going to call.
Yep. Okay. I kind of see your point.
Get do you do?
No, I do.
No, grow up.
No, I really do.
You hate me.
Oh, shut up. You know what? F*** you, Fish. No, but seriously.
You do. No, you.
It's okay, man. Nah, it's...
I shouldn't have
It's just the coach of the year. I know we shouldn't have fought like that. It's just... Oh, man. I just get so fired up. We're both competitive.
Sorry, dude.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for calling you all those names.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too, that you called me all those names. Mate, let me pour you a glass of wine, mate.
No!
Oh, you know what? Okay. Yeah, okay.
No, I'm gonna pour it myself.
Yeah. So me and Fish have just had a bit of a tiff. Trouble in paradise. I think in summary, it's been... Both coaches have been pretty unreal.
Both coaches have been unreal for their circumstances.
I don't think we're going to be able to convince each other out of our choices, but I think we would both agree that those two coaches have just been insane what they've done for their teams. The Warriors have just been elevated to that next level. The Hawks have just become the team in the East. I think a lot of people underrated them at the start of the season. I think they lost their first 2 games or something, and everyone was like, oh, shivers, like, should the Hawks blow it up and stuff? I was like, okay, guys, come on, like, whatever. And then all of a sudden they're just like, well, I hope we're not versing the Hawks next week. Yeah.
Insane.
So I'm looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs. Looking forward to seeing how far the Warriors can go. I would really love to see both those teams in the finals. That would be epic.
Both of those in the finals.
2 fresh faces in the finals would be great. But mate, I think that wraps up that topic. That was a good, healthy debate.
It was a good, healthy cry.
Yeah, a couple of punches thrown, but
he hit a cripple.
Nothing too serious.
He hit a frigging cripple.
No one's in hospital
I
yet.
don't believe you. Just quickly, we're going to move on to a bit of music news.
Let's do it.
Earl Sweatshirt recently started streaming his album, Unbehest Him. It was completely against his will. There was a lot of blow up in the news saying that he felt disrespected by his label.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of shit started to go down with them. Yeah, he pretty much told them to go fuck themselves. Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Didn't come out the way that he wanted to release it. He wanted his music video for Grief to come out before the entire album. His label didn't even release Grief, and they just released the set list, the album artwork, the track list, the collaborations. They released everything that he didn't want him to release.
Right.
And he started blowing up at them recently. Not a really pleasant story for a rapper a young rapper that has a lot of potential.
A lot of potential. Great lyricist. And I mean,
so far from early listens.
It's disappointing to hear that. Like,
yeah, it
really is.
It is. It's really disappointing to hear that his kind of creative work wasn't showcased.
Who's his label, by the way?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
It just sucks when you hear the big guys kind of taking advantage of these guys that are actually talented.
It didn't really work as a marketing plan either. It just kind of came out of nowhere. It didn't quite work out exactly how Kendrick did. I feel like his marketing team went, oh, well, Kendrick released it early, so we should release it early. I don't think that worked out in their favour. There's
you're not Kendrick, though.
Yeah, there's a large difference between Earl Sweatshirt and Kendrick Lamar.
Wow, that's not a stab at Earl Sweatshirt. That's a stab at whoever decided that. But
yeah.
No,
what, you?
Probably a stab at me. No, but I gave the album a bit of a listen this Arvo because I knew we were going to be talking about it, and I've listened to a bit of his stuff previously, and it's not been too bad. I quite enjoy it. It's pretty chilled out rap. He's got a nice flow.
It's been a little bit too minimalisty for me. I found it relatively repetitive and boring.
Yeah,
from an album standpoint, but there were some highlights. I did enjoy Grief a little bit.
There's a real kind of dark side to his rap. If you notice it, with the kind of beats and the backdrop behind it, which I kind of enjoy, but yeah, I don't know. After hearing all that, I'm really kind of disappointed. I don't even feel like I should be listening to it. But what's news in the music world?
There's a couple of
music, by the way.
A couple of new albums have dropped. outside of hip-hop, the new Sufjan Stevens album, Carrying Laurel. It's unfortunately all about his dear mother passing away. For any of you interested in some minimalist folk, some really beautiful memories. If anyone's seen Sufjan Stevens live, he does an incredible light show. So just a real true performer and a brilliant melodist. So if you're into that type of music, pick that one up. Another one to come out is the new Tobias Jesso Jr. album, Goon, which has recently been coming out, full of piano ballads, throwbacks to...
What date are we looking at, Fish?
Oh, it's...
What date?
They've already been out.
Oh, they're out.
They're
okay,
all out.
Sorry.
They're all out.
Not on top of this stuff.
Go down to your
Fish is in
local...
charge of music.
Go down to your local cassette stores and pick those ones up.
Or if you're not near a cassette store, get yourself on iTunes. Download the music legally because... we need to support these artists.
Support these artists. They're doing some incredible things. Sufjan Stevens is bringing out his show to Vivid in Sydney this May.
That'll be good.
Which will be absolutely incredible, along with a bunch of other acts. There's some big stuff coming with Future Classic. Guys like Flume, Wave Racer, Touch Sensitive, all the guys under that label. They're doing
some fun names there.
Yeah, they're doing a big 10-year thing. So get you guys asses down to Vivid. That'll always be a good vibe. But the new Tobias Jesso Jr. album, if you're into old school piano ballads with a bit of soul, this guy absolutely kills it. And the new Sufjan Stevens album.
So yeah, moving on. We've got a new segment. Fish, what's the new segment? Tell the people.
We've got the Vine videos of the week.
We're gonna look at a few right here, mate. And
let's go.
I'm gonna show you a couple from this week I thought were the best.
No worries, mate.
So first of all, mate, we've got the big man.
What's this?
We've got Timmy D.
He kind of basically by himself.
I've never seen him dance before.
Is that Niggy? Was he doing the Iggy Travel?
I'm not sure.
Is he doing the Iggy Travel there?
Next one.
Let's go to the next one.
Milwaukee versus Utah game the other night.
Stop it.
Check out the referee.
Look at him go.
Look at those legs.
Look at him go.
Look at those legs.
Look
at that
that
movement.
Did you see that rotator cuff speed though?
Oh my god.
Check that speed.
Mate, you got to be careful when you're refereeing.
He's been doing speed bags for a while.
Always warming up the hip flexors because you never know when you're going to need to hokey pokey dance on the floor. That's some good stuff from the Jazz there. Always the very outspoken Greg Popovich in a timeout. Let's hear it.
We got to be smarter, all right? And then we go to dinner. Let's go.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love that he's thinking about food.
I love it. They didn't go on to win the game, but man, if they had won the game, imagine that dinner.
Imagine the dinner.
Imagine that dinner.
Imagine.
Popovich always.
He just cracks me up, just out of nowhere. Then we go to dinner.
Always good for a freaking hilarious quote.
He's always there for a laugh.
Fish, this one, we're getting into some pretty serious stuff here. And this is possibly my favourite of the week.
Cue Requiem for a Dream. Check the form.
Oh my gosh.
He's got his knees up like a boogie boarder.
Have you ever seen...
That's incredible.
That is some... Oh my gosh.
That is some nipple grazing.
That is Blake Griffin, the Penguin there, ladies and gentlemen.
Chest hair ripping sliding.
And mate, the final one, it's a little bit nasty. Hope you wore 2 pairs of undies, because Derek Williams is about to blow your mind. We lost Fish. We lost Fish. That is an unreal dog.
What?
Get back over here. Get back over here. I think that's going to be Dunk of the Year. I think.
That beats Michael Ennis's.
James. Second week in a row we've got a name wrong with Fish.
Michael Ennis of the Bulldogs. Hope you're watching.
Yeah, hope you are watching. Shout out to the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Boggies.
But mate, that wraps up our segment, Vines of the Week.
Time to wrap it up, and so to wrap it up, we're going to have a Twitter question from the fan.
Another Twitter question this week.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
And to read us that Twitter question, we've got Bray, as requested, back again. Not sure about it this week. Mate, what do you got for us, mate? Mate, just crouch down, get in this shot. Oh my god.
Don't make him squat any lower.
And off some wine.
Is that the Twitter question or just a general one?
What's Twitter?
You know what, mate? You can't have any wine because you've had too much. Actually,
I'm giving him some. That's that suction.
oh my god.
What?
Oh wow, that's a skull. That's a wine. That's a wine. I want the other. You know what? I'm not giving you my wine. Nah, do a spin for us. Do a spin for us. Sorry, Sue. Sue actually told us last week, you better get Brace's permission before you put him up in the nudes.
That's a really, really, really good impression of my mum. So
Mate.
this is us. This is the wrap up.
We've done it again this week.
To get us out.
What song have we got to wrap us out? I hope it's not Steve Novak again. Kind of hope it is, but it's probably not. If you guys like the podcast, please click like on our Facebook page. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you for watching Trash Talk with Fish and Seko. It's been freaking brilliant again.
The Vivino lineup, CHG, all the boys helping
Big
us out. Please like, share, comment, whatever the hell you guys need to do. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Do it.
We
Just
hope
do
to
it.
be bringing you the good vibes.
You won't regret it. God bless. Have a good week. Going to take this moment to give a few shout outs actually. Shout out to the Boston Celtics, best team in the world. Second shout out to Isaiah Thomas, the MVP. Second shout out to Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year. Third shout out to Kelly Olynyk, Sixth Man of the Year. Fourth shout out to Brandon Bass, Most Improved Player of the Year. Fifth shout out to Brad Stevens, Coach of the Year. And big shout out to Danny Ainge, the man, Exec of the Year. Let's go, Boston. Let's go. Yeah.
You just chatting to yourself?
Yeah, I was.
Good.
I can't wait to show you what I just said.